Central Academy of Technology and Arts. Are you ready? Time starts now.
In my younger and more vulnerable years, my father gave me some advice that I've been turning over in my mind ever since. Whenever you feel like criticizing anyone, he told me, just remember that all the people in this world haven't had the same advantages that you have. He didn't say any more, but we've always been unusually communicative in a reserved way, and I understood that he meant a great deal more than that. Gatsby, the man who gives his name to this story, represented everything for which I had an unaffected scorn. But if personality is a series of successful gestures, there was something gorgeous about him. Some heightened sensitivity to the promises of life. He had an extraordinary gift for hope, a romantic readiness such as I have never found in any other person, which is now likely I shall never find again.
Nick, darling, I'm paralyzed with happiness.
Hello, Daisy.
Nick Caraway and this baker. Nick is my cousin.
Second cousin, once removed.
He and Tom graduated Yale together. Oh, did you play football as well?
No, Tom was the football hero.
Hey! There you
Hello,
are!
Tom.
Care for a drink?
Not yet. A little early for me.
Alright, well, who could use a refresher?
Where are you from?
Oh, St. Paul, Minnesota.
Aha! I'm stiff. I feel as if I've been lying on the sofa for as long as I can remember. Don't look at me. I've been trying to get you to New York all afternoon.
Here, this'll help.
But there's prohibition.
So what?
Besides, I'm absolutely in training.
How you ever get anything done is beyond
I
me.
recognize you from somewhere.
You said you live across the sound in West Egg. I know somebody there.
I don't.
You must know Gatsby. Gatsby? He has that huge mansion that's an imitation of a French hotel.
The one with the tower.
Throws huge parties.
I live right next door. Our lawn's practically
In 2 weeks, it'll be the longest day of the year. Do you always watch for the longest day of the year and then miss it? I always watch for the longest day of the year and then miss it.
We ought to plan something.
All right, what do we poo-poo plan?
Welcome to Central Academy of Technology and Art.
Oh my God.
Excuse me?
I love to see you in my house, Nikki. You remind me of a rose, an absolute rose. Doesn't he, Jordan? An absolute rose. If you'll excuse me.
This is Mr. Gatsby.
Shh, quiet. I want to hear what happens.
Is something happening?
You mean you don't know? I thought everybody knew.
I don't.
Why, Tom's got some woman in New York.
Got some.
She might at least have the decency not to telephone him at home.
We aren't very close, Nick. Even if you are my cousin, you didn't come to my wedding.
I wasn't back from the war.
Oh yes, I'd forgotten. The war took a lot of young men away. I had a pretty hard time, Nick, and I'm pretty cynical about everything.
10 o'clock. Time for this good girl to go to bed.
Jordan's playing in the tournament tomorrow over at Westchester.
Oh, you're Jordan Baker, the golfer.
Good night. Wake me at 8, won't you?
If you'll get up.
I will. Good night, Mr. Caraway. See you tomorrow.
Good night, Nikki, my dear, sweet Nikki. Good night.
Yes, Gatsby, it turned out all right, but it's what preyed on Gatsby, what foul dust floated from the wake of his dreams that's been haunting me. It haunts me still.
Come on! I want you to meet my girl. Hello, Wilson. How's business?
Can't complain. When you gonna sell me that car?
Give some chairs, why don't you? So somebody can sit down.
Oh, sure.
I try to teach you manners.
Myrtle, this is Nick Caraway. We went to Yale together.
How do you do?
Hello. I want to see you.
So?
Get on the next train.
What if I don't want to?
Oh, you want it.
What makes you so sure of that? Think you can walk in here and order somebody around?
Just get on the next train.
Will you get me that dog you promised me?
Oh, I'll get you the whole brood.
You promise?
Woof, woof.
In that case.
Meet me at the apartment in an hour.
Oh, I got a car.
Oh, we gotta go. Just showing Nikki of the neighborhood.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Mr. Buchanan.
Terrible place, isn't it? Where are we? Wait. Hard to imagine people choose to live like this.
Awful.
It does her good to get away, though.
Doesn't her husband object?
Wilson? Ha! He's so dumb he doesn't even know he's alive. He thinks she goes to New York to see her sister.
Do you like the apartment, Mr. Caraway?
Nice.
Tom bought it for me, didn't you, Tom?
Drink with me, Nick.
I really should get home and study.
Oh, come on. There's plenty of time to make money. Now drink up.
I would love to get you a bad postman. I think that's a
Artistic game.
Really?
Come on, dance with me, Mr. Caraway.
I would love to change my name. I'd like to bring up a model of your features, that profile. And I'd like to get a hold of all the back hair.
I wouldn't think of changing the light. I think it's...
We're gonna need more to drink. Myrtle! Quit shaking your ass and grab us some more ice and mineral water before everyone falls asleep.
I told that boy about the ice. These people! You have to keep after them all the time.
Do you live out on Long Island too?
I live at West Egg.
Really?
Would we know your place?
No, it's just a small summer rental.
We were down there at a party about a month ago.
At a man named Gatsby's.
Do you know him?
I live next door to him.
Really? Well, somebody told me that they thought they were roommates.
No, I don't think it's that. It's more that he was a German spy during the war. I heard about that from a man out of college. They knew all about him. They grew up with him in Germany.
That's not right. He was in the American Army during the war. You look at him sometimes when you think nobody's looking. I'll bet he killed man.
They say he doesn't even live in that house, but lives on a secret boat that floats up and down the Long Island shore. Chester, I think you could do something with it.
Tom, stop it! You make me spill everything.
Come on now, that's enough, Myrtle.
Ah, get your hands off me! Where's that dog you promised me?
I really should get going.
No, stay!
He was right downstairs. I could show you my portfolio.
I've been drunk just twice in my life, and the second time was this afternoon. I don't think Daisy would find it admirable.
Daisy. Daisy, Daisy, Daisy! Everybody talks about her like she's a saint.
Shut up, Myrtle!
Don't tell me to shut up. I'll say whatever I like.
I mean it, Myrtle!
Daisy, Daisy, Daisy!
I told you about using her
I'll
name!
say it whenever I want to. Daisy, Daisy, Daisy! You bastard! You son of a bitch bastard!
Oddly, I began to like New York. And all the while, there was music coming from my neighbor's house. In his blue gardens, men and girls came and went like muffs among the whisperings and champagne and the stars. And then, early one Saturday morning, a short bird crossed my lawn with a surprisingly formal letter. The honor would be Gatsby's, it said, if I would attend his little party that night.
Your face looks familiar. Were you in the 3rd Division during the war?
Why, yes, how did you? I was in the 9th Machine Gun Battalion.
I was in the 7th Infantry until June 1918. Miss it, the war?
Why, yes. I think I missed you so much I came back restless. Made going home pretty old.
I know what you mean. I doubt most of the people here have any idea what it's like being in the trenches.
It's not something you forget.
Mr. Caraway!
Miss Baker, hello.
I thought you might be here. I remember you said you live next door. Having fun?
Oh, well, it's an unusual party for me. I've been here for hours and haven't even seen the host. I live over there, and this man, Gatsby, sent over a chauffeur for an invitation. I'm Gatsby. What?
Oh, I meant your party. It's alright, old sport. I thought you knew. I'm sorry I haven't been a very good host. No, it's alright.
Sorry to interrupt. There's a call from Detroit.
Tell them I'll call later.
That may not be such a good idea.
If you need anything, just ask for it, old sport. Excuse me. I'll be joining both of you in a moment. I I said a small town minor is no use to us in Detroit is this idea.
I feel like an idiot. I kept imagining Gatsby as extravagant and fat, middle-aged. Who is he? Do you know?
He's just a man named Gatsby.
But where's he from, I mean, and what does he do?
I haven't the faintest idea.
But people don't just come out of nowhere and suddenly buy a palace on Long Island.
Well, Gatsby did.
But he must have some sort of a past.
Now you're starting on the subject.
It's just that everyone keeps talking about it.
Well, he told me once he was an Oxford man. However, I don't believe it.
Why not?
I don't know, I just don't think he went there. Anyhow, he gives large parties, and I like large parties. They're so intimate. At small parties, there isn't any privacy. Having a good time?
I'm having a good time with you.
Dance with me.
All right.
You know, Daisy's very taken with you. She hasn't stopped talking about flinging us together.
Then she'd be happy about tonight.
Are you in love with her?
Isn't everyone?
Daisy! Daisy! Daisy, where the hell are you?
So much nicer a long time ago, when we had each other. The space about the world was warm.
Listen, I thought we'd go to New York later and have lunch.
Anything. I'm all yours today.
Look here, old sport. What's your opinion of me?
We've only just met.
Be frank, old sport.
Honestly, I've heard all sorts of rumors.
I'm going to tell you something about my life. I don't want you to get the wrong idea based on all these stories you hear. This, the God's honest truth. I'm the son of some wealthy people out in the Middle West, all dead now. I was brought up in America, but educated at Oxford because all my ancestors have been there for many years. It's a family tradition. I accepted a commission as first lieutenant when the war began. In the Argonne Forest, you were there.
Take my house out.
I was promoted to be a major, and every Allied government gave me a decoration. Even Montenegro. Little Montenegro down by the Adriatic Sea. This is the one from Montenegro.
For Derry di Danilo, Montenegro, Nicholas Rex.
Turn it over.
Major J. Gatsby for valor extraordinary.
Here's another thing I always carry. A souvenir from Oxford days. I was taken at Trinity Quad.
Then it's all true.
Well, of course it is.
Oh, I didn't mean like that.
It's all right.
It's just, why are you telling me all this?
I'm going to make a big request of you today, and I thought it would be good for you to know something about me. I didn't want you to think I was just some nobody.
You mean you planned all this?
I knew I could trust you. You see, I usually find myself amongst the company of strangers because I drift here and there, trying to forget a very sad thing that happened to me. You'll hear about it this afternoon.
At lunch.
Yes, but not with me. You'll be having lunch with Miss Baker.
Do you mean you're in love with Miss
Yeah,
Baker?
No, sport, I'm not. But Miss Baker has kindly consented to discuss the matter with you.
I don't understand. Why don't you just tell me yourself?
It's a very delicate matter, and I'd much rather that it wasn't any—
Hello, Nick.
Tom? What are you doing here?
Need here all the time. Where the hell you been? Daisy's furious you haven't called up.
Oh, this is Mr. Gatsby. Mr. Gatsby, Mr. Buchanan.
Sir? Anyways, how'd you happen this far uptown to eat?
Oh, I'm having lunch with Mr. Gatsby and, Miss Baker.
Oh, you behave yourself with her. Anyways, I was going to be at the apartment later. I was thinking maybe you could stop by. We'll have a drink. Now, if you don't mind, sir, I have friends waiting, but it's a pleasure to meet you.
He's married to my cousin Daisy. They live across the south.
Yes. Look, I hope I haven't angered you. This
No.
business—
It's not about that. I just don't like mysteries.
Hello, boys.
Miss Baker.
Hello, Jordan.
Jay, did I interrupt something?
No, please, have a seat. Thank you, Miss Baker. Thank you both. Well,
Is he always like this?
He knows what he wants.
Well, it's nice to see you again, even under mysterious circumstances.
Not that mysterious, not really.
What's going on?
Do you know Daisy and I grew up together?
She told me.
Daisy Faye, the most popular girl in all Louisville. Well, one night, I was walking by her house, this was 1917, and I saw her dancing on the porch with a lieutenant I'd never seen before. They were so engrossed in each other that they didn't even see me, and he was looking at her the way every young girl wants to be looked at. It seemed so romantic that I've remembered the incident ever since. His name was Jay Gatsby.
Gatsby?
Anyhow, they became inseparable. Promises were made, and Then he left for the war. She wasn't the same after that. She became distraught, withdrawn. I don't know what happened, something to do with her family, but after the war was over, she just up and suddenly married Tom Buchanan of Chicago. Half an hour before the bridal dinner, I went up into her room and saw her lying on her bed, as lovely as a June night in her flowered dress, and as drunk as a monkey. She had a bottle of champagne in one hand and a letter in the other.
What was in the letter?
It was from him.
Gatsby?
He was coming home from the war to marry her.
Why did she marry
She heard the name Gatsby for the first time in years the day you first visited. Do you remember?
What a strange coincidence he's here.
But it isn't a coincidence at all. Don't you see? Gatsby bought that house to be near Daisy, to be just across the bay from her. He wants to know if you'll invite her to your house and then let him come over.
You're telling me he's waited 5 years, even bought a mansion just so he could come over one day to a stranger's cottage? To have a liaison?
All this time, he's half expected her to wander into one of his parties, but she never has. That's why he gives them. He wants her to see his house, to see what he's created for her. And your house is right next door.
Incredible.
Will you do it?
Does she want to see him?
Daisy's not to know about it. Gatsby doesn't want her to know. You're just supposed to
I'm
invite
not sure
her
I'm
over.
comfortable.
Daisy ought to have something in her life, don't you think?
And what about you? What if I invited you to tea? Would you come?
Ask me.
Have you got everything you need to shape up?
All set, all set.
Be sure you're all right. So what do you
It's
want?
fine, fine. Would you like something while you wait?
No. It's raining.
I noticed.
I'm going home.
What?
Nobody's coming to tea. I
Don't
can't
be
wait here all
silly.
day.
It's just 2 minutes before.
You don't understand them, sport.
See?
This is absolutely where you live, my dearest one. It's adorable, absolutely adorable. Are you in love with me? Is that why I had to come alone? Jay,
Hello, Daisy.
I'm glad to see you again.
We've met before.
We haven't met for many years.
5 years, next November.
Jordan tells me you've been naughty with her.
Have I?
See, I'm the perfect matchmaker. Although I'm very angry with her, she left my car out in the rain with the top down, and now it's ruined. Absolutely ruined. First she lied about it. So you be careful with her, Nick. She's incurably dishonest.
Well, if you'll both excuse me.
I thought if we ever met again, it'd be when we were old and decrepit. You're as handsome as ever, Lieutenant Gatsby.
Would you like to sit?
Yes. Did you know I'd be here?
I arranged it. Here.
Are these all me?
They're newspaper clippings from the last 5 years.
You. Chicago. Look at that silly hat. Even Europe.
He's a good polo player.
Yes, Tom has a knack for winning. Gee, I tried to wait. Really, I did,
And
but...
look at this.
How handsome you are in your uniform. You never married?
No.
Sorry for all the hurt I've caused you when you could have been so happy. I missed you, Jay. I missed you so much. I never missed you so much as I do now.
Oh, hello, old sport.
It stopped raining.
Has it? What do you think about that, Daisy? It stopped raining.
I'm glad, Jay.
I want you and Daisy to come to my house. I want to show her around.
You're sure you want me to come?
Absolutely, old sport. My house looks well, doesn't it?
I love it, but I don't see how you live here all alone.
I keep it always full of interesting people. People who do interesting things, celebrated people.
If only it were possible to reverse time. Erase it. Just erase it and begin again. You think that's possible, Jay? To just erase time as if it had never happened. You told me you'd come back from no matter where you were, and here you are now, gleaming like silver. And I told you I'd be waiting, do you remember? My hair was damp that night, yes, and you, so handsome in your Brooks Brothers uniform, smelling like new goods, garden smelling of wisteria and pine forest. And you told me you loved me, and I thought you the sweetest person in the whole world. And the music everywhere, filling the pine forest, fragrant with our future. We were golden happy, weren't we? Golden happy.
your house across the bay. You always have a green light that burns all night at the end of your dock.
It burns for you, Jay. It's always burned for you.
Just a minute, Maya.
Do you mean it? Do you really love me?
Yes.
That's all that matters. Wait here. I'll be right back.
I wouldn't ask too much for so soon. You can't repeat the past.
Can't repeat the past. Why, of course you can on the sport. And this time, I'm going to fix everything just the way it was before.
Almost 5 years he waited for her. How could one mortal possibly live up to it? The king's daughter, the golden girl. Illusion. But no amount of fire or freshness can challenge what a man will store up in his ghostly heart.
Nick, hurry up. Daisy's expecting us for lunch. Gatsby's coming too.
That isn't very discreet.
Gatsby wants Daisy to tell Tom that she never loved him. She's promised to do it today. Now come on, we don't want to miss all the fun. I'll get the car.
I'll drive you.
Why?
You're a rotten driver.
I am not.
Either you ought to be more careful, or you oughtn't to drive at all.
I am careful.
No, you're not.
Well, then other people are.
What's that got to do with it?
They'll keep out of my way. It takes two to make an accident.
Suppose you met somebody as careless as yourself.
I hope I never will. I hate careless people. That's why I like you.
Where's Mr. Thomas Buchanan, the athlete?
Rumor has it he's on the telephone to his girl.
Mr. Gatsby! It's a pleasure to see you again, sir. Jordan? Nick?
Make us something cool to drink, please. You know I love you.
When are you going to tell us?
Soon, I promise. Oh, darling, don't look so sad. You know there's nothing else in the world I want but you and your precious love. Thank heaven, something cool to drink. Who wants to go to town? Let's go to town.
All right, let's go to town. Come on.
Shall we take my car?
I would have expected a chauffeur.
I prefer to do my own driving.
Well, over you standard?
Yes.
Well, then how about you take my car into town and I'll take yours.
Take some getting used to.
Oh, but I'm sure I can.
You may have to stop and get some gasoline.
Oh, then I'll just stop at a drugstore. You can get anything at a drugstore nowadays. Come on, Daisy. I'll take you in Mr. Gatsby's circus wagon.
You take Nick and Jordan, we'll follow you in the coupe.
Did you see that?
See what?
You must think I'm pretty dumb, don't you? Maybe I am, but I've got this almost second sight that tells me what to do. I made an investigation into this Mr. Gatsby.
And you found he was an Oxford
He
man.
did go to Oxford.
Oxford, New Mexico, maybe. No. I'm gonna stop for some gas. Let's have some gas, Wilson! Come on! What do you think we stopped for? To admire the view?
I'm sick. Been sick all day.
What's the matter with you?
I could really use some money, Mr. Buchanan. I was wondering what you were going to do with your old car.
Whoa! How do you like this one?
It's a nice yellow one.
Pretty fancy, eh? Ever seen anything this fancy before?
No, sir.
Like to buy it?
Big chance. No, but I can make some money on the other.
What do you need money for all of a sudden?
We've been here too long. Gotta get away. Myrtle and I want to go west.
She does.
She's been talking about it for 10 years. Now she's going whether she wants to or not. Going to get her away.
Why is that woman staring at me?
How much do I owe you?
I've just been wised up to something funny the past 2 days. Yeah, wised up real good. That's why I want to get away. That's why I've been bothering you about the car.
How much do I owe you?
I could really use that car.
How much do I owe you?
$1.20.
Keep the change.
I'm really sorry to keep bothering you, Mr. Buchanan. It's just I could...
I'll let you have the car.
You will?
Yeah, I'll bring it over tomorrow afternoon. Jesus! You make it 10 times worse by crowding about it, for Christ's sake.
Why not let her alone on sport? You're the one that wanted to come to town anyway.
That's a pretty great expression of yours, isn't it?
What is?
All this old sport business. Where'd you pick that up?
Now see here, Tom, if you're gonna make personal remarks, I won't stay here a minute.
Oh, no, I know I'm not very popular. I don't throw big parties when all riffraff from Broadway and the picture shows. Now, suppose you gotta turn your house into a pigsty in order to make any friends, huh?
We can talk about my house later when there are no ladies present. By now, what I want to tell you...
Please don't. Please let's all go home. Why don't we all go home?
That sounds like a good idea. Come on.
Oh, now wait a minute. I want to know what...
Your wife doesn't love you. All right? She's never loved you. She loves me.
You must be crazy.
She doesn't love you, do you hear? She only married you because she was tired of waiting for you, and it was a terrible mistake, but in her heart, she never loved anyone except me.
Why don't we all...
You're not going anywhere!
Yes, we are, Tom. Come on, Daisy.
It's time someone told you
Oh!
exactly.
Do you want to lecture me on character, Jordan? Now that's a laugh. Nick, has your girlfriend here told you about that tournament in Asheville? That she cheated to win that tournament. The great golf champion. Now, what was it you wanted to tell me, Jordan?
Let's go, Daisy.
Sit down, Daisy!
Stop yelling at her!
I want to know what's been going on.
I told you what's been going on for 5 years on sport, and you didn't know.
You've been seeing this fella for 5
No,
years!
we're not seeing. No, we could never meet. But both of us loved each other all that time on sport, and you didn't know.
Now I know you're crazy, because I can't talk about what happened 5 years ago, because I didn't even know Daisy back then, and I'll be damned if you got within a mile of her. Unless you brought the groceries to the back door. But the rest of that's a damn lie. Daisy loved me when she married me, and she loves me now.
No.
But she does, though. Trouble is that sometimes she gets confused and doesn't know what she's doing. All the more is that I love Daisy, too. Sure, every now and then I go out on a spree and make a fool of myself, but I always come back. Don't I, Daisy? And I loved you all the time.
You're revolting. Did he tell you why we left Chicago? I'm surprised he didn't treat you the story of that little spree of his and Santa Barbara and the
Daisy,
Riviera.
that's all over now. Just tell him the truth, that you never loved him, and all this is wiped out forever.
How could I love him possibly?
You never loved him.
I never loved him.
Not at Deauville?
No.
Not when I carried you home from the punch bowl to keep your shoes dry? Daisy!
Please don't. Here, Jay. You want too much. I love you now, isn't that enough? I can't help what's past. I did love him once, but I loved you too.
You loved me, too.
Even that's a lie. She didn't even know that you were alive. Why? There's things between me and Daisy. Things that you'll never know. Things that we can never
I want to
forget.
talk to Daisy alone. She's all excited now, confused. She doesn't know what she's saying.
Even alone, I can't say I never loved Tom. It wouldn't be true.
Of course it wouldn't.
As if it mattered to you.
Of course it matters to me. Now look, Daisy, I'm going to start taking better care of you from here on out. You
No,
hear
you
me?
don't understand that sport. You're not going to take care of her ever again.
I'm not, and why is that?
Daisy's leaving you.
Nonsense.
I am, though.
She's not leaving me. Certainly not for some common swindler who'd have to steal the ring he put on her finger.
Please, let's go home. It's so hot, so hot.
I'll take care of you. My car keys, please. Let's go, Daisy.
Want any of the stuff? Jordan. Nick. Nick! What? Want any?
No.
How's the matter with you?
I just remembered that today's my birthday. I'm 30. 30 years old. I was 30 before we started the menacing road of a new decade. It was 7 o'clock when we finally got back to the coop and started back to Long Island. Tom talked incessantly, exulting and laughing as if he won a football match. Human sympathy has its limits. And beside me, her head on my shoulder, Jordan nestled close. But I didn't know her anymore. 30, the promise of a decade of loneliness, a thinning list of single men to know, a thinning briefcase of enthusiasm, thinning hair. So we beat on towards death through the cooling twilight.
You can fool me, but you can't fool God.
What are you doing, George?
His wife's man, that's what they say. You think I don't hear that? His wife's man. No more, Myrtle, no more.
George, what are you doing with my clothes?
We're leaving, day after tomorrow, as soon as I sell that car.
You're crazy.
I got things figured out, Myrtle. I'm not stupid.
I never said you were
Remember your face all busted out.
It ain't right what you're doing.
Something's not right, that's for sure.
Give me back my clothes. You've got no right. I hate you. I hate every minute with you.
Ah!
What are you gonna do? Beat me? Huh? You gonna beat me, George?
I'm sorry, Myrtle. I didn't mean...
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! I can't stand your voice. It's like a slug crawling in the dirt. I should have left you a long time ago.
No, Myrtle, please don't leave me. I'm getting the money, I promise. I'm getting the money.
He's come back. He's come back for me.
Myrtle, wait!
M-I-C-A.
No, H. M-I-C-H.
What's going on?
H-A.
Hey, listen to me!
Hey, what do you want?
What happened? That's what I want to know.
Auto hit her, instantly killed.
What? Instantly killed?
She ran out in the road. Some of a bitch didn't even stop his car.
There's a yellow car. Big yellow car.
You don't need to tell me what kind of car it was. I know what kind of car it was!
Wilson! Calm down! All right? Now, I just got back from New York a minute ago. You hear me? Wilson! I was bringing you the car we talking about, the blue coupe. Remember? Wilson! Listen to me. Now, that car I was driving this afternoon, the yellow car, it wasn't mine. I was borrowing it from someone else. You hear? I borrowed it.
What's going on over there?
Nothing. I'm a friend of his. He says he knows the car that hit her. It was a yellow car.
What color's your car?
A blue car, coupe.
He's telling the truth. We just come from New York. We were on our way to West Egg when we saw something happen, so we stopped.
All right. Let's clear this area out. Now, will you give me that name correctly this time?
M-I-C-H.
Son of a bitch didn't even stop his car.
Daisy, wait!
Please let me go. I need to get inside.
Believe me, this is all my fault. None of this would have happened if I had just taken care of things the first time.
I just wanted it to be beautiful.
Do you believe that I love you? Daisy, look at me. Do you believe that I love you?
Yes.
What was said at the hotel doesn't mean it. Tom was pressuring you, making you say things you didn't mean, upsetting you.
But I'm no good for you.
You are the kindest, tenderest, loveliest, most beautiful person I have ever known.
But what if...
Nothing's going to happen. I'm going to take care of everything. Now, I want you to go inside. I'll be out here outside the window just in case he tries everything, and if he does, I want you to turn the light off and on.
You won't hurt me.
I don't trust you. I'm going to wait here just in case.
How long will you wait?
All night if necessary. My whole life if you want.
Do you really love me that much?
Yes.
But what do I say? You know how I am. I'll ruin everything.
He knows you're upset. It's okay to be upset. Just don't let him talk you into saying anything. Don't say anything. Just give me time to get things set up and then we'll go away. Like we planned.
Yes, that's all I want. That's all I've ever wanted.
As soon as I know you're safe here tonight, I'll wait for your call at home. Our love is all that matters. We'll go back to the film, get married, and start over and have the life we were meant to have. You asked me if I could erase time. The answer is yes, I'm erasing it here, right now. The past is erased and now it's only you and me.
Oh God, he's home, Jay.
I'll be right here. Nothing's going to happen. Nobody's ever going to hurt you ever again. Call me tomorrow. I'll wait for your call at home.
it true?
What?
What Tom said, the scandal about your tournament.
What's that got to do with anything?
They say you moved your ball in a bad line. That's how you do it.
People say all sorts of things when you're famous.
I read about it. The caddy retracted his statement. Did you buy him off?
Nick, you're one of the few honest people I know. That's why I like you. Come on in.
Goodbye, Jordan.
Goodbye? Like that? You're throwing me over?
I need to go home.
You're throwing me over for a rumor?
I just need some time to think.
Fine! Be a coward. Run away. I don't give a damn about you anyways. But hey, at least it was a new kind of experience. You remember that conversation we had earlier about driving a car?
What about it?
You said a bad driver was only safe until she met another bad driver. Well, I guess I met another bad driver, didn't I? I mean, it was careless of me to make such a wrong guess. I thought you were different, Nick. I thought you were a rather honest, straightforward person. I thought it was your secret
I'm
pride.
30, Jordan. 30 years old. I'm 5 years too old to lie to myself and call honor.
Goodbye, Nick.
Hello, Nick.
What are you doing?
Just standing here, old sport. Did you see any trouble on the road?
Yes.
Was she killed?
Yes.
I thought so. I told Daisy I thought so. It was better the shot hit her all at once. She stood it pretty well. We got to West Egg by a side road, and I left my car in the garage. I don't think anybody saw us, but I can't be sure. Who was the woman?
Her name was Wilson. Her husband owns the garage. What the hell happened?
Well, Daisy was driving, and I tried to steer the car the other way, but she didn't.
Daisy? Daisy was driving?
Yes, but of course I'll
I just assumed that. Why didn't you stop? Get some help?
Daisy stepped on it. I tried to stop her, but she couldn't, so I pulled on the emergency brake, and she fell over into my lap and asked if
You
she'd
have
taken her.
got to go to the police.
I can't do that.
Tell them it was an accident.
Nothing is going to happen.
But everyone saw the car. There are eyewitnesses, and we'll trace it back to you. You can't have a car like that, and then they'll find out Daisy was driving.
I won't let that happen, and neither will you.
I want to wait here, to make sure Daisy is okay, just in case he tries it.
That's my taxi. Better come home.
I want to wait here,
Gatsby.
just to make sure Daisy is safe. Good night, old sport.
I don't understand people.
Way of finding out about the car. Who it belongs to.
A couple of months ago, she came back from the city, her face bruised, her nose swollen. Oh my God, he killed her. I have a way of finding out. He murdered her. Now, I'm one of these trusting fellas, and I don't think no harm to nobody. When I get to know a thing, I know it. It was the man in that car. She ran out to speak to him, and he wouldn't stop. She's a deep one. I spoke to her. I told her she could fool me, but she couldn't fool God. I turned to the window and said, God sees what you've been doing, everything you've been doing. You can fool me, but you can't fool God. God sees everything.
Nothing happened. I stood there and I waited, and around 4 she came to the window and then turned the light on.
You have got to go away. It's Atlantic City for a week.
I can't do that. I couldn't possibly
Why
leave
won't
Daisy.
you listen to me?
I owe you an apology.
I don't care about
I owe
that.
you an apology for some of the lies. James Gatz. That's really, or at least legally, my name. We're cousins, you and me, Nick. 2 boys out of the Midwest who moved out east to make their fortune. My parents were from the Midwest. They were good people, honest, but poor. So I invented a sort of J. Gatsby that a 17-year-old boy would be likely to invent, and I moved out east to make my fortune. And then I met Daisy. Of course, I expected her to throw me over. I mean, what did I have to offer some poor farm boy? But she didn't, because she was in love with me, is in love with me. And now I have her again. This time, everything is going to be just the way it was before.
Thank you.
For what?
12 minutes to my train. I've already missed 3. I really don't want to go to work today.
Been a good friend, Nick. And I appreciate it.
I'll call you about you.
Daisy will call soon, don't you think?
I suppose so.
After all, we made promises to each other.
Yes.
Well, Goodbye, Nick. Goodbye, Let's Go.
They're a rotten crowd, Gatsby. You're worth the whole damn bunch put together. I remember the rest of that day, that night, and the day after as an endless drill of police and photographers and newspapermen. Most of the reports about Gatsby were a nightmare. Grotesque, circumstantial, eager, and untrue. I found myself on Gatsby's side, and alone. No one else cared. No one. Where was the party people now? I called up Daisy to see how she was taking it, but she and Tom had gone away that afternoon, leaving no return address. I wanted to get somebody for him. I went into the room where he lay to reassure him. I'll get somebody for you, Gatsby. Just if you trust me, I'll get somebody.
I can't do it.
You were his closest friend.
I raised him up out of nothing. Right out of the gutter.
Funerals this afternoon.
I'd like to come.
Then come!
I can't. When a man gets killed, I never like to get mixed up in it in any way.
I want you there.
Mr. Caraway, let us learn to show our friendship for a man when he is dead and not when he is alive.
The day of the funeral, no one came. Daisy never even sent a message, not even a flower. One afternoon in late October, I saw Tom and Daisy walking ahead of me on Fifth Avenue. Just as I slowed to avoid overtaking them, he suddenly stopped.
Nick! Daisy, look, it's Nick! What's the matter? Object to shaking hands?
Yes! You know what I think of you.
You're crazy, Nick. Crazy as hell.
What did you say to Wilson?
Look, I told him the truth. I mean, he came to my house crazy enough to kill me if I didn't tell him to open the car. When we were talking, he had his hand on a pistol in his pocket the entire time. And so what if I did tell him? Gatsby had it coming. He ran over Myrtle like you run over a dog and never even stopped his car.
You always were my favorite cousin, Nick.
You're careless people. You smash up things and creatures and then retreat back into your money. Or your vast carelessness or whatever it is that keeps you together. And then you make other people clean up the mess you made. I couldn't forgive any of them. After Gatsby's death, the East became haunted for me, distorted. It was time to go back home. Back westward, the blue smoke of relief stirs in the air, and the wind blows the laundry stiff on the line. As I brooded on all this, I thought of Gatsby's wonder when he first picked out the green lights at the end of Daisy's Dock. Gatsby believed in the green lights we were gasped into the future that year by year sees before us. It eluded us then. That's no matter. Tomorrow, we will run faster, stretch out our arms farther, and one fine morning. So we beat on towards death, boats against the current, borne back ceaselessly into the past.